So you just got your PSAT score and you're probably wondering, what does it all mean? How do I break it down and what can I do with this PSAT score that I just got? In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what the score means, what the score report means, and how you can use this information to better your SAT score in the future. In this video, I'm going to explain the scoring system of the PSAT. I'm also going to explain the National Merit Scholarship Qualification scoring system, and I'm also going to give you some bonus tips at the end as to how you can use this information to prepare for the digital SAT in March. I'm Nick the Tutor, and I've helped over 50,000 students prepare for tests like the PSAT, SAT, ACT, and other exams. And I'm here today to explain exactly what the PSAT score means so you can perform better on the test. I have some really exciting insights for you about the PSAT scores, so make sure to watch the end of this video so you can catch my bonus tips where I explain exactly how to use these scores to better your digital SAT score in the future. So number one, the PSAT is out of 1520. Each section, reading and writing and math, are both out of 760. Now your first question is, Nick, why is it a different scoring system than the actual SAT? I think part of the reason is they just want to have a differentiation, and what they're doing is they're building in a natural score increase for students. So say you ace the PSAT, you get a 1520. If you go and ace the SAT, you get a 1600 and your score went up 80 points. So because there's more points to get on the digital SAT than the PSAT, your score is likely to go up slightly, which makes everybody feel good, and it's a good look for the College Board and the SAT in general. Now, how do you get your score report for the digital PSAT? Well, there's really two ways. Number one, you can obtain it through the College Board's app. If you provided your cell phone number when you went to take the PSAT, you actually can obtain your score through the Big Future app. So you can download the app, you can go to the scoring section, you can actually see your PSAT score there. The second way of getting your score is going to your school and actually asking your guidance counselor or someone else at your school handles digital SAT testing and have them give you your score. They can give you a PDF and show you exactly how you did. So what is percentile rank? Percentile rank is basically a number that shows how you did against other students in the country. So if you scored in the 80th percentile, that means that you beat 80% of the students that took this specific test. Now, also, there will be a NMSC section. This is where you can see your National Merit Scholarship Qualification score. Now, this score is a number out of 228. So basically, the way you calculate this score is you take your reading and writing score, you multiply it by 2. Let's say you got a 600. A 600 times 2 is 1200. You add that to your math score. So say you got another 600. 1200 plus 600 is 1800. Then you divide that by 10. So 1800 divided by 10 would be 180. So your index score for this test will be a 180. So what do we do with this score? Say I got a 180. Well, each state has a specific cutoff number for the National Merit Scholarship. There's web pages that College Board puts out that shows the number for each state each year, but usually that number is something in the 210 plus range. So basically you need to score very close to perfect on the PSAT to get the National Merit Scholarship, which is a longer process where there's other things you need to do, but to qualify, you're going to need to hit this index score number. Now, this number varies from state to state, so depending on what state you live in, the number is going to be different. States where there's a lot of test takers and people really prepare for the SAT, like New York or Florida or California, the number is going to be much higher. In other states, the number is going to be significantly lower. Now, what else can you find on the Big Future app? You can find a lot of information on careers and jobs, and even on your PSAT report, they give you information about different careers in your state. So what they're trying to do is connect your PSAT score to your SAT score, to your college journey, to your career, and so on and so forth. So that's what College Board does. They're really an information company more than a testing company. They use this information, as you've probably seen, when you fill out forms to register for the SAT. You have to answer all these questions about your school and your classes, and there's all this information that they gather. So that's really a lot of what they do. So that's why that's part of your PSAT score report. Now let's get into the other way to access your scores. If you have a personal College Board account, you can log into your College Board account and you can actually go to My Scores and actually check out your PSAT score there. This is actually a more useful way to view your PSAT score because you're going to see an entire report here, and this report is going to be helpful in studying for the test. So you're going to see a few little areas where you have various grades. So you'll see what percent of questions you got right in certain areas of math and certain areas of English. This is hugely helpful because you can see the areas that you struggle on, and then you can utilize that to study for the test. There's also clickable links that direct you to Khan Academy so you can prepare for the test. There's practice questions that you can review. There's answer explanations. So there's really a decent amount of resources that you can utilize to at least start preparing for something like the digital SAT in March. Whereas if you access the report through your school or on the Big Future app, there's a little bit less of that, but still there's something that you can utilize to prepare for the test. You'll find all this information on the Skills and Insights tab on your College Board account, which is really helpful because if you click on that, you can actually guide yourself towards starting to prepare for the test. If you want to visit the official PSAT website, that website is psat.org/scores, which is another place that you can find your scores. It will explain to you exactly, what you need to know about the PSAT scores, and a helpful resource for students that just took the test. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this video I was going to give you some important tips, some bonus tips on how you can use this PSAT score report to prepare for the test. So let's get into that. So you can see here I took a screenshot of the PSAT score report. You can see your score over here, which is very helpful to see. You can also see your individual section scores. So you have math, reading and writing, and you also have your percentile ranks here, which is helpful. But in order to prepare for the test, what you want to really look at is knowledge and skills. So you can see this particular fake student, right? This student did really well in these two areas, but not as well down here. You can see in these areas down here that the student didn't perform as well. So that's telling me that I need to study standard English conventions, which are grammar concepts, punctuation, sentence structure, so on and so forth. I also need to study geometry and trigonometry. That's 12.5% of the test, and I probably only got about half of those right. So there's a few different things here that could help me start preparing for the test. Also, you can see right here my National Merit Scholarship Index, which this one student did pretty decently on the test because the PSAT. At the same time, this is not going to get the student the National Merit Scholarship by any means, but still, once again, you can see your score and you can use that to build for the future. So what other tips do I have? I think number one, you want to make sure that you take diagnostic tests for the digital SAT. You can do those on the Blue Book app. You can also do them with us. I'll put a link to that below where you can actually take a diagnostic digital SAT. You also can take a diagnostic ACT. If you don't like your score on this test, one important tip is you should try the ACT because you might just be better at that test, and that would benefit you greatly to do a test that you're better at. You don't have to do the SAT. You might want to, but if you didn't like this test, you definitely want to give a shot to the ACT. What other study tips do I have? Well, number one, as you identify your weaknesses, you're going to want to find resources to help you prepare. One great thing that I mentioned earlier is Khan Academy. There are many other resources that you could use, such as SAT books, online courses, study guides, tutoring classes, so on and so forth. So what you want to do is create a goal for yourself. Take a look at the score you got on the PSAT. Take a look at some of the scores for colleges that you're interested in. So say you have an 1120 and you need to get to a 1300. Make a plan that will work to get you to that point. If you need to improve a lot, you're probably going to have to study more than someone that doesn't need to improve as much. But at the end of the day, if you put in your best effort, you prepare for the test, you use the right materials, you do practice questions, you review them, and you continue to adapt as you go along, you will achieve success on the digital SAT and beyond. Drop a comment below, let me know what you got on the digital PSAT. Let me know if you thought it was easy down below. Many students are reporting they thought the digital PSAT was extremely easy. That may have been because of the adaptive testing. Those students did not move on to the harder module 2, but I'm curious to see what you got and what module you think you got on the test. Now, this doesn't tell you if you got the easy or the hard module. With our assessments, we do tell you that, so you can see if you're moving on to the more difficult module or not. Finally, if you like this content and you want to see more digital SAT practice tests, answer explanations, tips, and tricks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps me out to continue to create this awesome content for you guys. Once again, thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.